I'm going to tell you a story about the most challenging painting I have ever created, because this piece has far more behind it than you might expect. It all began with an unlikely message to an extraordinary human being. Back in 2019, I painted my very first lion portrait, and because Kevin Richardson is so deeply connected to lions, I sent him a message on Instagram asking for his feedback, but he never replied. And honestly, I wasn't surprised. He's Kevin Richardson. Then something unexpected happened. Kevin replied 4 years later. During that time, he'd actually started following my work and eventually came across that original message. And when I saw his response, I had a thought. If Kevin was open to connecting, maybe we could create something together. So I pitched him an idea and I went big. I suggested we create a legacy painting, a piece that immortalizes his most iconic lions and the story they represent. Kevin loved the idea and the board got behind it. And not long after that, I found myself in South Africa.
I'm super excited because I'm going to be meeting up with a lady who's traveled all the way from Australia, from Adelaide. And so we hooked up on Instagram and we got talking. With Carlo, it was just a natural kind of conversation and a natural fit.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Exactly. I was just saying to the guys the other day, we've had so many artists contact us over the years and want to do some form of collaboration, but there's never been anything that's really resonated in terms of what I want to do for these animals.
Yeah.
They've, been such an important part of my life, and I think, by immortalizing them in a painting that tells a story, is fantastic. So your pitch really had me like, yes, somebody gets it. This is what I want to do.
We spent a full week photographing the lions from ground level, eye to eye, and also from the air. I got to experience the sanctuary up close, meet the team behind the foundation, and understand the heart of what Kevin has built. And that changed everything. Because once you've stood in that space, once you've seen those lions in person, the artwork stops being just a painting, it becomes a responsibility. These lions have become incredible ambassadors for their species. The sanctuary and its inhabitants have played a huge role in raising awareness and raising much needed funds that go directly towards supporting wild lion conservation. That's what makes Kevin work so unique, because a lot of sanctuaries, understandably, focus entirely on raising money to care for the animals living there. But the Kevin Richardson Wildlife Sanctuary and the Kevin Richardson Foundation do something bigger. They look after their inhabitants and actively raise awareness and funds to protect lions and their habitat. After the trip, Kevin and I spent weeks developing the composition. We tested different combinations of lions, different lighting, different arrangements. We went back and forward again and again until finally we landed on this. 6 lions captured in a moment that felt true to their personalities. We've got Bobcat, George, Yame, Thor, Meg, and Gaby. And if you followed Kevin's work, you'll know that these aren't just beautiful animals, they're individuals with their own stories. For example, Thor and his brother Charlie were featured in Mia and the White Lion, helping bring awareness to the canned lion industry. George and Yame were rescued from a circus in Spain where they were severely malnourished to keep them docile for petting. And Gaby, well, she's famous for chewing the tires off Land Cruisers during enrichment walks now.
You're a bloody naughty lion, Gaby. Bloody naughty.
So creating one painting that brought them together, something that honoured who they are and what they represent, felt incredibly fitting. Then came the hard part, painting it. This piece took me 3 months of full-time work, and the goal wasn't to make it hyper-realistic in a photocopy way. I wanted it to feel detailed, but still painterly, slightly imperfect, full of movement. The kind of painting that rewards you the closer you get, even if up close it looks unfinished in places. But here's what made this piece uniquely difficult. None of the lions came from the same reference photo. So I had to rebuild the lighting from scratch and unify everything into one believable scene. That's why I created the dapple shade pattern across the bodies. I also chose a unifying shadow color, meaning every shadow across the painting shared the same underlying tone no matter what the reference photo showed. It sounds small, but that one decision actually helped me pull the entire painting together. There were 2 lions that pushed me the hardest. The first was George. His reference photo was severely blurry and flat. There wasn't a clear light source. I had to invent detail where there wasn't any and build believable form and lighting based purely on the visual logic I'd already established in the rest of the painting. The second challenge was Thor, because Thor's fur is white, and white fur is incredibly reflective. I had to create the undertones, the way that his fur would react near the other bodies, the way shadows would fall across him, and how the surrounding colors would bounce into the white. By the time I finished this piece, I felt like I had reached a turning point. I had never seen a lion painting done from an aerial perspective before. So pulling this off and doing it well felt like a major step forward. Even now, the technical side of this painting still excites me, and the collaboration itself was always designed to give back as well. So the full sale value of the painting is pledged to Kevin's foundation, and any additional artworks or prints created through the collaboration would also contribute to the foundation. Pride has won the People's Choice Award in 2 separate competitions, and now it's been selected to be displayed and sold at Sotheby's in July 2026. My hope is that whoever becomes the collector of this piece doesn't just own a painting, but carries the story of these lions and the lives they represent for many years to come.